Our final witness is also using an assumed name, and again we ask our friends in the media to respect the need for her to protect her family. And we finally call on Naira to testify.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, my name is Naira, and I just came out of Kuwait.
فنستبشرت خيرا بنجاح العملية وفتح الله على
My mother and I were in Kuwait on August 2nd for a peaceful summer holiday. My older sister had a baby on July 29th, and we wanted to spend some time in Kuwait with her. I only pray that none of my 10th grade classmates had a summer vacation like I did. I may have wished sometime that I could be an adult, that I could grow up quickly. What I saw happen to the children of Kuwait and to my country has changed my life forever.
قبل العملية هذه السنة شوي أخونا أبو الحسن المصري الذي ظهر في التلفزيون الجزيرة قبل كم يوم يقول لي الأمريكان الآن جاء نزلوا إلينا. أيوه.
The second week after invasion, I volunteered at the Al-Adan hospital with 12 other women who wanted to help as well. I was the youngest volunteer. The other women were from 20 to 30 years old. While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators.
رأيت نلعب فريقنا مع الأمريكان لكن العجيب وأنا أسأل ليش أسامة نزل جميع الفريق تبعنا طيارين هذه كرة والأنظار.
Took the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor. It was horrifying.
نزل العريقة هم الطيارين وهو لا يعلم شيء عن العملية إلا أن سمعها في الإذاعة ما يعرف شيء.
I could not help but think of my nephew, who if born premature might have died that day as well. After I left the hospital, some of my friends and I distributed flyers condemning the Iraqi invasion until we were warned we might be killed if the Iraqis saw us.
نكون عند أخونا المغرب ترى جاب رأى طيارة داخلة في عمارة كبيرة قبل العملية ما كان يعرف عنها أي شيء قال لي سيف.
I saw and talked to a friend of mine after his torture and released by the Iraqis. He is 22, but he looked as though he could have been an old man. The Iraqis dunked his head into a swimming pool until he almost drowned. They pulled out his fingernails and applied electric shock to sensitive private parts of his body. He was lucky to survive.
وإذا بالتلفزيون ينقل حدث ضخم المشهد على أسرة مصرية. شفت الآن لما تكون مباريات والفريق يفوز وتنقل مشاعر الناس على شاشات التلفزيون هكذا أسرة مصرية جالسة الأب والأم والأبناء والولد الكبير يبقى الصعيدية فرحان الأسرة تصفق فرحان وشريط يمر على التلفزيون هكذا يقول انتقاما بأبناء الأقصى أسامة بن لادن ينفذ ضربات ضد الأمريكان.
If an Iraqi soldier is found dead in a neighborhood, they burned to the ground all the houses in the general vicinity and would not let firefighters come until the only ash and rubble was left.
رأيت كان في طائرتين جاءت انفجرت انفجار ضخم جدا يعني حتى يعني خشيت كنا واقفين نشوف المنظر خشيت انه في ناوي يأتينا او شيء يعني فقول للشيخ يلا ما نمشي يعني فقول انتظر بس انتظر وكان العالم متوقع اشياء اخرى تأتي
I want to emphasize that Kuwait is our mother and the Emir our father. We repeated this on the roofs of our houses in Kuwait until the Iraqis began shooting at us. And we shall repeat it again.
هذا بعد الطائرة الأولى.
قبل العملية. بعدين رحنا في أيام العملية قديش بقي عمل.
لما طرحوا من الطيارة الأولى حسبوا بس هو هذا الموضوع.
والله عجب. والله يا شيخ الناس شعروا إعلان طيارة وتحت الطيارة ما مصدقين. يتعجبوا أصلا يعني من التوفيق هذا أول شيء. بعدين كيف شلت عقول هؤلاء الله ياخذها. ثلث ساعة تقريبا.
I'm glad I'm 15, old enough to remember Kuwait before Saddam Hussein destroyed it, and young enough to rebuild it. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you. And let me thank all of our witnesses. We've passed 8 years in the existence of the Congressional Human Rights Caucus. We've had scores of hearings about human rights abuses throughout the world. And I know my co-chairman, Tom Lantos, will join me in telling you that we have never heard in all this time, in all circumstances, a record of inhumanity and brutality and sadism as the ones that the witnesses have given us today.
وبعد اللي بتقول صار استنفار بحري وجوي وهذاك راح تحت الأرض وهذاك راح المخبأ.
يعني فعلا ترى وصلوا في ذعور يا شيخ وخوف. توقعوا فعلا انقلاب يعني ويأتي هؤلاء الناس يحكمون وكانوا مش يحكمون بس
I don't know how the people of the civilized countries of this world can fail to do everything within their power to remove this scourge from the face of our earth. And the witnesses, by providing to us eyewitness accounts and reports detailing the conduct of the Iraqi soldiers under the command of Saddam Hussein, have done a great service to their country and to ours and to all countries of the world who must join together and take whatever action may be necessary to free the people of Kuwait from this aggression and brutality.
Clearly a shaken President Bush, jettisoning what were intended to be his remarks on education. Perhaps a little more education worldwide would prevent this kind of thing in the future.
And Leon, on the heels of the president's remarks, CNN has learned that at least one of the planes involved in this hit on the World Trade Center was an American Airlines 767, a Boeing aircraft that took off from Boston. What happened to that airplane as it took off from Boston and how it ended up at the World Trade Center are details we'll have to fill in as we go.
And the president saying the two things which a president must say at a moment like this: terrorism will not stand, which is an important thing for him to say, but not always necessarily effective. And God bless the victims and their families.
Matt and Katie, I've spoken to a top U.S. official who says that early reports to our intelligence community and to other officials within the administration are that this was a hijacked American Airlines plane en route from Boston to Los Angeles. One of the two planes, they say, was apparently a hijacked American Airlines plane. They caution that early reports still need further confirmation, but this is at least what the U.S. government is being told by American Airlines officials, apparently. They are assuming and have obviously informed the president that this is a terror attack.
On the phone, we have an eyewitness, is that correct?
Yeah, Jim Gartenberg joins us. He was on the 86th floor of, I'm not sure which tower. Was it the north or south, Jim?
It's the World Trade Center 1, and it's not was. I am here, and I'm stuck right now.
Remember from the last bombing, it took months and months and months before that structure was certified sound again and re-inhabited by...
in from the bottom.
Right, that was a bombing from the parking garage level of the tower.
That is something that, it's hard to watch this, but it's more bearable because I remember that particular bombing, and I was on the air all morning and all afternoon with that one, is that you saw the people that were being brought out on stretchers. You actually saw bodies and victims. And this, we're not seeing that yet, and we're hoping and praying that there are very, very few injuries.
Now, are you above, Jim, or below?
I have no idea. I have no idea where the plane hit. It's my understanding that it's a plane.
Jim, there are two planes. One went into one tower, one went into the other tower. What do you see around you? I mean, are you in smoke? Are you in fire? I mean,
the first thing that I want to make clear is that I'm stuck on the 86th floor. A fire door has trapped us. Debris has fallen around us, and part of the core of the building is blown out.
How many people are with you, Jim?
I'm with one other person, and I'm told that people are aware of this. I'm on the 86th floor on the east side of the building facing the East River.
And what time did you get...
If I'm on the air, I want to tell anybody that has a family member that may be in the building that the situation is under control for the moment, and the danger has not increased. So please, all family members, take it easy.
How restricted is the airspace around the World Trade Center?
I'm not an FAA person, but
no,
I mean, you cannot fly through that airspace unless you're a helicopter, or unless you're anything really, without being guided by air traffic control. It's highly restrictive.
So the possibility that two planes on a clear day just happened to wander into these buildings.
I think that's beyond the pale.
Yeah, that's not a possibility.
I got to work around 8 o'clock this morning, and I think this happened around 8:45.
It did. Describe what you felt.
I felt just the whole building. I heard a noise, felt the whole building shake, and saw glass blown out. The glass on my floor was blown out from the inside of the building out, rather than the exterior windows being blown out.
And what
glass fully shattered, and just the core of the building, the interior core of part of the building collapsed. Hello?
We just want to pass it. Jim, hang right there with 1 second.
Law enforcement agencies, the FBI and others, will be taking the lead on this, officials say. And clearly, obviously, they will first try to ascertain who did this. What nationality are they? What's behind this? That's really all I can say. There are several places around the government. There are groups of officials gathering and setting up crisis centers to try and deal with the flow of information on this, which, as you can imagine, is going to be considerable as the day progresses.
And so far, as far as we know, no one has been taking responsibility for this.
There have been no claims of responsibility, and U.S. intelligence officials say they had no warning of anything like this coming along.
Security measures to be taken if perhaps there are folks that are still in the city that are suspects.
The fire stairs are blocking our exit. I don't know where the stairs are, but I couldn't get to it, and I would want to pass the debris on my own without it. Patricia and I, the elevators are blown out. There's a shaftway in between.
In the meantime, let's go back to Jim Dolan as we talk about what's just happened. Jim?
And again, another reason for closing the bridges and tunnels, besides the possibility of suspects, Steve, might also be they are concerned about another terrorist attack.
You're looking at the footage of one of the planes coming in earlier. This is the second plane, a jet aircraft, hitting the World Trade Center about 2 minutes after 9. Perhaps 5 minutes after 9 this morning. Rita Cosby is on the phone with us, and Rita, I understand you have a lot of new information.
Yeah, John, I've just been told from a U.S. law enforcement official that they are saying it is evident that this is a terrorist-related attack, and among the key targets, key people that they're looking at is Osama bin Laden.